Okay, Meg,
Hello.
do you know what my favorite thing about you is?
What? What is it? Tell me.
I think you're hilarious. And I don't mean that you're a comedian, dropping jokes left, right, and center. It's not like that. It's just in the stressful moments, you make things feel a lot lighter. The reason I wanted to feature you on Spotlight on Quiet Excellence is because you're probably one of the calmest and most stable people I've ever worked with.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's true. And you're able to stay cool and focused in moments that are a bit chaotic. And you manage to be funny in the process.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very witty. You always have a comedic timing and delivery. It is something that just makes working with you so pleasant.
Oh, thank you.
And aside from your personality, I do think all of this translates into the work as well. When we're in a meeting or any kind of setup, you ask the best questions.
Really, thank you.
You do. You ask things that people might have been wondering about, or things that would have never crossed someone's mind, but it helps progress the work and the accounts. Yeah, so I brought you here because I feel like you're thoughtful, you're consistent, and like everyone I've featured so far, you quietly get the job done and you do it really well.
Thank you.
To me, Meg, you are a leader. Do you feel like a leader?
I like to take an active role, whether that's leadership or just, being part of the team.
What is it that inspires you?
So what keeps you motivated and fulfilled at work?
Find something that you're good at, find something that you enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it is the outside of your day-to-day that make your job more fun, more enjoyable. I think connecting with people, that teamwork again, is what makes you enjoy the job, and also what makes you want to stay at a company. I think the people aspect of it, I think it's a fine balance and sometimes something quite difficult to achieve in a team. And I think that the team that we were a part of together was so special in that sense, because everyone just liked each other as people. That connection was, I think it is such a nice dynamic.
Do you actively seek feedback, or do you rely more on your own internal standards?
I do seek feedback, and I think feedback's very important. I think that without feedback, without getting someone else's perspective, someone else's opinions, it's hard to know how that's going to go out into the world. I think it's important to have your own internal standard, that you are striving for the best of your ability all the time, especially when you're putting forward a bigger piece of work. But just, asking questions, collaborating with people, just, especially in the office now that we're coming back, just grabbing someone for a quick question or a quick input. What do you think of this? Opens your mind to more possibilities. How can you improve that work beyond what you would have been able to think of yourself? So yeah, I think both are important, but I think never be afraid to ask for feedback. And sometimes, I've had feedback before and things that I've been working on where some people go, oh gosh, don't think this is the right way to go. And sometimes it feels a bit like a hit at first, but
it's an opportunity
for growth. Exactly. Like you can expand that, you can change it. Just also, if someone's feedback isn't always positive, doesn't necessarily mean if they're correct. Doesn't mean you're wrong. Doesn't mean you're correct or they're wrong. Knowing who you want to ask for, why do you value their feedback is also important too.
I think it's important to see things in different perspectives, because as you said, something that might be right to you might not be for someone else, and then it's just about finding that.
Exactly. Things, I don't view things ever very black and white. I think that's nice shades of grey.
Yes.
And I think that finding common ground, finding feedback from others is great.
How do you handle self-doubt?
I think it's completely normal to have self-doubt, and I think that everyone has it. Everyone doubts themselves. I think it's a human nature. I think that people are often too self-critical of themselves, and I think that if you were, you can remember all your embarrassing moments, but you can never remember someone else's. And I think just trying to remind yourself of that, and you wouldn't judge someone or criticize someone for something. So why would you do that to yourself, and why would you think anyone else would of you as well? I think my mum always said to me, just believe in yourself. And I think it's such a it's such a simple but important thing to just believe in yourself. I think there's nothing wrong, there's nothing arrogant or vain about saying, you know, I like myself, I am a good person, I do good work. It's good to celebrate yourself as well as others.
Yeah. No, I love
what
that.
I try to remind myself.
No, I think
when I'm feeling
it's very
doubtful.
healthy what you're doing, I think. And, you know, you've come a long way so far. And do you have any idea what next looks like for you?
Do you know where you want to be in 5 years? Is it important for you to know this?
Well, I think it's good to have a plan. I think I've just sort of achieved one of my next goals. So I'm sort of thinking now, what do I want next? So I think it's important to just take a bit of time to think about that. Having a vague idea, it doesn't have to be anything specific. Sometimes, you know, 5 years seems so far away, and maybe what you want to achieve seems so out of reach at the current moment. But, you know, putting your feelers out, making small steps, asking questions, reaching out for advice from colleagues or peers that you respect, who know you, who can advise you, sometimes see your strengths that you maybe didn't know existed. I think it's nice to be flexible and not have that fixed goal that you're like, this is what I need to do and what I need to achieve, because I think it constrains you a little bit. I think always keeping an open mind, keeping options open, relationships strong, you know, helps build whatever direction you go at something positive.
So young and so wise. For someone who, you know, who's only started their career like during COVID, I'm so impressed. I'm genuinely very impressed. And you know, like anyone who's who's starting out their career, is there any advice that you would give them?
I think don't be afraid. Specifically, don't be afraid to make mistakes. So little is not fixable. I mean, obviously, you know, when you're starting out, you know, keep your common sense, you know, make sure that you are thinking before you speak. You know, when you do start out, you're often needing people to guide you, and you're often waiting for that guidance, you know, especially when I started out online. You're waiting for Teams messages, and sometimes it's just a case of taking that step and being proactive and just going, okay, not really sure what that right option is here. I'm going to choose this. And if you can back it up with the reason why you chose to do that, if it's the wrong answer, you'll learn for next time. And whoever's your manager, whoever's helping you will help you fix that, and you won't make that mistake again. You'll learn so much more than just sitting idle. When you're starting, want that proactive, keen to learn, keen to try something attitude. And I think that's what you can try and go in with. Just don't be afraid to do something and to try something. I've had such a great opportunity to work with amazing people, to feel, you know, who I felt really supported and nurtured me in my career, and really, you know, championed me for what I wanted to achieve. So I couldn't have done that without them. So it is all a team effort in my eyes. So thank you as well. I mean, you're a great mentor and someone to bounce ideas and thoughts off of, and I really appreciate that.
I'm glad I was able to contribute to that.
Thank you.